your horoscope for 2013, and I want to explain you quickly how to get the best benefit of those videos. I want you always to check the prediction from your ascendant sign. It's not the same as your sun sign. If you can find your ascendant sign by going to my website astrolada.com, where I have a birth chart calculator, and you need to know the exact time of your birth, because this is the most precise prediction for you. This is the real sign that you have, actually, the ascendant sign. And if you know your time of your birth, enter all the details and go below the table, which will show what the degree and the sign of your ascendant is. Mark them down and listen to the whole prediction for your ascendant sign. Also listen to the prediction of the sun and moon sign. You know your sun sign, everyone knows their sun sign. If you're born in April, you're Aries. If you're born in December, you're usually Sagittarius. And the moon sign, which is very personal. It can give you great insight and depth about what is happening psychologically and emotionally within yourself. For some women, the moon horoscope will be much more precise. For men, sometimes the sun sign will be more precise, but always the ascendant sign will be very precise for everyone. And then I want you to listen to the second part of the sun and moon predictions, horoscopes, because I give you specific transits there, and they will be overpowering the influence of everything else that I hear. If you hear your exact day of birth, your exact degree of the ascendant or the moon mentioned in the horoscope, then this really will ring a bell for you, and you'll really feel it in that ear. But always listen to the ascendant prediction for the sign. And if you don't know what your time of birth is, then you can contact one of my psychics for just $14, for just $15, and have a reading with them, because they don't need your time of birth. They are amazing. I've headhunted them from all over the world. And they're amazing. They just tell you details, dates, names. It's fantastic what they can do for you without time of birth or date of birth or anything, because they speak directly to, they see images and hear images. So please enjoy. Anyone who has a question, they can contact my psychics on me on my website astrolada.com. Scorpio 2013. And what is happening? Well, we always judge what's going to happen in the year by checking the two important planets, which are the two hands of the astrological clock. The small hand, which is Saturn, is moving slower. And it always shows where we're having tests in our life and what sorts of tests we have to overcome. And it's in your sign, Scorpio. And we've made so many videos about Saturn and Scorpio, what it means for you. But it's going to stay there in 2013 as well. And it will be one of the maturation process for Scorpios, ascendant, sun or moon, it doesn't matter. It's a process when you're required to be much more serious, much more dedicated and loyal if you want something to progress in your life. Otherwise, if you don't have the persistence and hard working attitude and self-discipline and loyalty to whatever you're doing, it will be taken away from you. It's just Saturn does not allow dilly-dallying, playing around, or just being carefree. It does not allow half-hearted efforts to prosper. It's really, you need to put it all, to give it all, and then Saturn will give you a new start in life, will help you to build new foundations on which to basically to base all your life for the next 30 years. Saturn passes through the sign of Scorpio once in 29 years, so it's a symbolic new beginning in your life. Actually, now you will be allowed to start new things, maybe relocate, start a new career, start a new business, start a new life, start a new family, anything. A lot of women are pregnant while Saturn is in their first house in the ascendant. If you have Scorpio ascendant, and if you're a woman in your 20s, 30s, you might be actually a period of pregnancy, a new beginning of a new life, because first house is a new beginning. It's you, it's a new endeavor, it's a new beginning. And Saturn, often it's either pregnancy, but for women, but in most other people, it's just some kind of a new beginning in their life, settling into new life, trying to build new foundations in life. And you have to be very serious and mature, and I'm sure that you will be having very serious, mature attitude. It just Saturn doesn't allow you silly, superficial attitude, and it also sometimes it can really make you scared, because Saturn can lower the vibration of the person, and the person can become very hard on themselves, very self-critical. Others become critical on themselves. Sometimes Saturn makes you feel older and makes you be very judgmental and hard on yourself, and turn around and say, what have I achieved? My life is shit, nothing is really working, my career is not good, I don't have a partner, I'm in my mid-30s or mid-40s, I'm still not married. You start start feeling like time is ticking away, because Saturn is the planet of time and maturity, and Saturn makes you feel like there's not enough time, I have to hurry up. So people start becoming more desperate sometimes when Saturn is around. But I want to tell you to be aware of that influence. Don't take it too seriously. I mean, you have to have a serious attitude, but don't stress yourself too much. Don't allow it to bring you down. Just realize that to pass through Saturn periods, sometimes the test that you have to go through, they're for your best, they're for your own maturation, they're from your own growth, and you would emerge out of there much more wiser and much more self-reliant. And it's a time of building new foundations. It's a time of more constriction, and a time of when more responsibilities and duties are given onto you, or you find them yourself, those duties and responsibilities, and you put them on your shoulders. And eventually, as I said, by the end of this process, you might have laid very stable foundations, or it might have been one of the hardest periods in your life when you felt very unsupported, especially if your moon is in Scorpio. And those people who are born from the 26th of October to the 4th of November, they will feel the Saturn transit 2013. They're the ones whose Saturn will affect properly, as everything I've said about it will affect them, and they might be changing their career. Saturn transiting the Sun. The Sun is about goals, about your role in life, so a person might feel dissatisfied, or there might be some blockages and difficulties in their current career, and they want to change. They might start a new job, so they have to work much harder than any other time. And there might be authority figures which are blocking their expression, because the Sun is the inspiration and Saturn is kind of authoritative, suppressing person. So someone can be blocking your inspiration, blocking your ability to act, or kind of being domineering and dominant and trying to control you more in your life. This is what Saturn brings. The Sun is your ability to enjoy life and to feel inspired, and Saturn blocks that as well. So it might feel for a little bit, it's a bit more like drudgery. Life is not so much fun. Life is about just day after day. Just inspiration might be drowned a little bit, but don't despair. Once Saturn moves away, you would find it. But as we said, you're building a new foundation. If Saturn is transiting over the ascendant, be careful also about your physical body. If your ascendant is from around 3 to 12 degrees in Scorpio, because your physical body might be a bit exhausted, might be a bit tired, maybe be careful with the bones, and just overall the immune system as well. Or the Sun, when Saturn is transiting the Sun, those born from the 26th of October to the 4th of November, the health, the immune system might be suppressed. When Saturn is transiting the Moon, from 3 to 12 degrees Scorpio, those of you who have the Moon from 3 to 12 degrees Scorpio, it's the most painful, because the Moon is the most sensitive planet, and the Moon is your emotional well-being, and Saturn is like someone with trudging very heavily, and it really lowers the vibration of how you're feeling. And for a year, it might feel like you're seeing reality through a much darker lens, and that life is more unsupportive, more difficult. You can watch my video on Saturn transiting the Moon to find out more in-depth information. I might put a link about it below. And it will give you exactly what will happen. But that's known in astrology as the dark night of the soul sometimes. But those of you who are more introspective, who are more self-disciplined, and who like spending time alone, and who are more prone to isolation or lonely activities, they will find the Saturn period over the Moon, Sun, or Ascendant more enjoyable, not so demanding, not so difficult mentally. But people who are generally very expansive, used to be surrounded by people who like life to be easy and enjoyable, Saturn period can feel very painful for them, because Saturn wants to restrict you, wants you to turn within, wants you to work hard, wants you to be serious and responsible. It's kind of all those boring things, as well, it's best to keep your vibrations higher during Saturn periods by being in touch with nature, and by exposing yourself to the Sun, because Saturn is enemy of the Sun is enemy of Saturn. And whenever you spend more time in sunlight, especially the morning sunlight, to around from sunrise to around 11 o'clock, it has very healing influence for Saturn. Depressions, or Saturn feeling down, or if you're just discouraged, or if you're feeling unhealthy as well, if your immune system or health is down, the rays of the Sun can dispel Saturnian influences, can alleviate it, especially watching the sunrise. But just try and be more in touch with nature, and more especially sun baths. It's very healing influence on your back. It's very good if you do sun bath. if you do them through the dresses, through the clothes, but if the sun is shining on your back. Anyway, and where is the small hand, the big hand of the clock, which is Jupiter, which moves faster? Well, the first part of 2013 is in your 8th house, Scorpio. And 8th house is a financial house, so it can be good for financial house, especially to do with your others people's resources, so you can benefit from loans, from bank loans, from debt. Someone can return money back to you that is on, or unexpectedly some tax return can come to you. Maybe some fluke, accidentally winning something, just money that is not something that you work through can be given to you in improving your financial state, or your partner can become better. Your business partner or personal partner, love partner, can his financial state or her financial state can improve and can be source of increase in your life. And 8th house is also emotional security, so you feel more emotionally secure. You feel like basically people in your life, you can open up to them more, especially if you're someone who is naturally more distrustful, because Scorpio have this ability to be more distrustful, more to doubt others, because they really can feel the motives of others, and sometimes they start feeling an undercurrent, the motive in everyone else, and not trust them. And be too doubtful, cynical. But Jupiter will help you open up a bit emotionally to others, and become a bit more, you know, how do I say, become a bit more trustful and willing, and be able to merge with another more, and this person to heal your fears and insecurity, which is 8th house is emotional fears and insecurity, the weaknesses in a person. Jupiter can help you heal this through another person. And as we said, it's a bit more helpful for financial support from others, but that's just till the middle of 2013. From the second part of 2013, Jupiter goes into your 9th house, and Jupiter loves being there, because even though Saturn is a bit depressing you, lowering down the vibration and making you work very hard, Jupiter will bring a meaning behind all of this. If before the first part in 2013 you were feeling like, why am I suffering? It's useless. It's life is joyless. It's I'm not enjoying it. Nothing is bringing so much joy. I have to work so much harder than other times. So you're being very downtrodden, or very prone to feeling down, and prone to self-criticism, or other, or feeling a bit more despair. When Jupiter comes into the 9th house, 9th house is optimism and faith and deeper meaning. It will make you feel like, yes, all this suffering and all these difficulties I have to overcome, or these restrictions or whatever, this maturation process I'm going through, it has a meaning, and I know it's right. And actually Jupiter will help you see some results from the efforts you've been putting of Saturn, because usually Saturn, when it's only Saturn will make you work very hard, and it will delay the good results till after Saturn period is over. But because Jupiter switches on at this period and starts sending beautiful aspects to the sun, to the moon, to the ascendant in Scorpio, you will start seeing the results even while Saturn is around still, and you will start seeing that your efforts are paying. So you'll be uplifted in the second part of 2013 and the first part of 2014 for that reason, till the summer of 2014. So Jupiter will be helping you, despite the difficulties of Saturn transit, to balance things out. And it will be a great time for you to study, those of you who want to study, to further your career. 2013 and 14 will be perfect time for them. Those of you who want to travel, to expand their mind and learn something new, great time when Jupiter is around. Some of you will find a new teacher. Some of you will find someone who consults you, who advises you, whether it's a consultant, a therapist, or just a teacher, a guru, or a friend who is wiser than you can turn for advice, and whose advice will be very helpful to you. So listen to the advice you receive from people in any shape or form, whether it's your brother or sister or lover or real teacher that comes to you. They will help you see the bigger picture of your life when Jupiter is in the 9th house. You'll just be able to see reality from a higher perspective, and to see how the puzzles of your life are fitting together from the second part of 2013. And when there is a meaning, no matter what difficulties you're overcoming, you go through them with much more lightness. When you feel within yourself that there is a reason for that. And even if you don't know exactly what the reason is, when you feel meaningful within and more optimistic and faithful, you can go through any difficulties that Saturn is placing there. As I said, great time for travel, great time for study, great time for relationship with foreigners, interaction with foreigners. Ninth house is also the house of spirituality. So some of you, the natural, the will get interested in studying esoteric books, in studying philosophical books, in answering the bigger questions of life. Why am I here for? Well, what's the reason behind my life? In finding a new spiritual foundation in life and establishing relationship with a higher power. It's a fantastic time for them from the second part of 2013. And studying as well, as I said, anything which expands your mind, spirituality, religion, higher education studies, it's all great for you. And you'll be able to make a plan for the future ahead. And Saturn is helping you start a new beginning. So for me, this both combination of Saturn in your sign and Jupiter in your ninth house, it's wonderful because even though Saturn requires hard work, Jupiter will make sure that you manifest and fulfill something productive right now. The beginnings that you start with Saturn passing your ascendant moon or sun, the new beginnings that you're starting, Jupiter will make sure that those especially from the second part of 2013 and the first part of 2014, Jupiter will make sure that those become fruitful and those flourish. If it was only Saturn, there are no guarantees, at least unless you really break your back and put a lot of loyalty and effort. But because Jupiter is there, there is much more guarantee that you'll be able to build a stable foundation that takes you somewhere. Thank you, Scorpio, and please let us know what you think.